Dead mold is just as bad as live mold. When a mold dies, its cell wall desiccates, it gets dry, and it'll break apart into little fragments. And the fragments have toxins on them. This is a disease of toxin. When you inhale those toxins, they're in you. If you don't recognize them as being foreign, you have a difficult time getting them out of your body.
Here's a house that was overrun by mold after Hurricane Sandy. It's an extraordinary example of how toxic mold can grow in your home. Here's how mold contaminates a building and makes you sick. First, there are wet or damp conditions in your home, school, or office that come from things like water leaks, poor construction, constricted airflow, air conditioning, and condensation. The mold grows sometimes in the open, but more often you can't see it. Spores from the mold and their toxins are released into the air. When there's mold in your environment, it contaminates your furniture, your clothes, and everything you own. You and your family are exposed to the toxins. You get systemic body poisoning from mold toxins. After you're sick, mold can directly invade and infect your already weakened body, which makes you feel not very good, so you stay home, which makes you sicker and sicker, because that's where the mold is. What you can't see can hurt you.
We just came out of this house. There's black mold in the ceiling. There's water damage all over the place. What happened here?
We did some air testing. We found mold spore counts were in the thousands for Aspergillus, Penicillium, also Stachybotrys. So as you walk through the house, before we tear everything out, you can see water stains in about 12 or 13 places throughout the house, on the upper floors. In the basement, there's a 3-foot water line.
I noticed in the kitchen, I pulled down some of that drywall, and there was no marks at all on the paint. And you peel back the paint, and there's layers of cardboard just full of black mold.
Most times, the moisture originates from behind the wall. So when you're looking at a wall and it looks okay on one side of the wall, we know that when we pull the drywall out, the back of the wall is going to be 10 times worse than the front of the drywall. The first thing that we do when we come into a house is a pre-treatment. So we'll fog the house once to kill the majority of the mold, surface mold, so that it protects the guys. The next thing we do is we're going to take out all the carpets. We'll take the carpets out first because the carpets are the most porous materials in the house that are going to hold the most non-visible mold. So once the carpets are out, we have a better slate to work on. Then we're going to tear out all the drywall. We're going to go room by room. Once all of the drywall is out, all of the insulation is out, then we'll determine whether or not subfloors have to come out. In this particular case, you saw us ripping up the hardwood floors. After everything's out, all the nails are pulled, all the screws are pulled, all the insulation is gone. Any porous material that could fail an air test has got to be removed. And then after that's done, then we start the fogging. Mold is a living organism. As soon as the fog hits the mold, it foams up. So we know to scrub that area, fog it again, scrub it, fog it again.